Welcome back to where we delve deep into the timeless wisdom found in the scriptures. Today's journey takes us to a fascinating chapter in Genesis 20, spotlighting an encounter between two intriguing figures, Abraham and Abimelek. We'll peel back the layers of this ancient narrative, illuminating profound lessons in trust, deception, divine intervention, and restoration. So make sure you've hit that subscribe button and toggled your notification bell on. Now let's unfold the layers of this ancient narrative together. Genesis 20 takes us into the region of the Negev, where Abraham, journeying with his wife Sarah, finds himself in Gerar. Here, beneath the vast desert sky, the narrative of trust, deception, and divine intervention begins to unfold. Abraham and Sarah, strangers in a foreign land, tread cautiously into the city of Gerar, ruled by King Abimelek. This city, rich with culture and bustling with life, holds an air of uncertainty for our travelers. It's a place where their faith will be tested, their actions scrutinized, and their trust in the divine put to the ultimate test. As we delve into the intricacies of this tale, we'll find ourselves immersed in a time and place far removed from our own, yet strikingly relevant to our modern lives. In this unfamiliar territory, a series of events unfold, revealing profound lessons about trust, deception, and divine intervention. The story begins with Abraham expressing fear for his life in Gerar, leading him to tell Abimelek that Sarah is his sister. This is an intriguing moment, as it unveils the human tendency to question safety and security when in unfamiliar territory. Abraham, chosen by God, is not immune to this fear, despite his deep faith. His fear leads him to compromise, to bend the truth to, in his mind, ensure his survival. This fear is something we all can relate to. It's part of the human condition. It's that gnawing feeling that despite our faith, despite our trust in God, we still might fall into the trap of letting fear dictate our actions. We might find ourselves in situations where we compromise our values, just like Abraham. But the beauty of this story is that it doesn't stop at this fear-induced compromise. It goes beyond, exploring the divine intervention, the consequences, and ultimately the restoration. It's a testament to the fact that fear is a part of our journey, but it doesn't have to define it. This incident prompts us to reflect on our own balance between trust in God and the fear that might lead us astray. It invites us to ask ourselves, how do we respond when fear knocks at our door? Do we let it in, or do we stand firm in our trust in God's protection? It's a question worth pondering as we navigate our own journeys of faith. God intervenes through a dream to Abimelek, delivering a stern warning about Sarah's marital status. This is a pivotal moment in the narrative, as it paints a vivid picture of divine intervention. It's a powerful reminder that God is not a silent observer, but an active participant in our lives, working behind the scenes, even when we're oblivious to his presence. But let's dig a little deeper. God's intervention wasn't random. It was a divine warning, a cautionary message to prevent Abimelek from falling into a trap of ignorance. You see, Abimelek was on the verge of unknowingly committing a grave sin, and God stepped in to prevent this from happening. To you and me, this highlights the significance of divine guidance. It underscores the fact that God doesn't just sit back and watch us stumble into pitfalls. He actively communicates, warning us of potential dangers ahead. So, how does God communicate with us today? Well, it may not necessarily be through dreams like in Abimelek's case. It could be through the Bible, through circumstances, or even through other people. But the key is to remain attentive, to keep our spiritual ears open, ready to receive God's guidance. In conclusion, Abimelek's story serves as a compelling example of how God communicates to protect us. It's a lesson about the importance of discerning divine warnings in our lives. This underscores the role of divine guidance in our lives, protecting us from unintended consequences. Abimelek's response to the dream showcases leadership integrity. When faced with the revelation of Sarah's true identity, Abimelek reacts not with anger or denial, but with a desire for clarity and resolution. Despite his innocence in the matter, he doesn't shirk from responsibility or attempt to shift the blame. He instead seeks to rectify the situation, expressing his concern for his people and the potential consequences they might face due to his unintentional actions. This powerful demonstration of integrity and leadership is a lesson that remains relevant even today. Leaders are often faced with crises and challenges that test their character and decision-making abilities. How they respond in these situations can significantly impact those they lead. In the face of crisis, the temptation to deny responsibility or deflect blame can be strong. But true leadership integrity, as exemplified by Abimelek, involves facing the situation head-on, seeking clarity, and taking responsibility, even when the circumstances were unintended or unforeseen. Abimelek's actions provide a blueprint for dealing with crises in leadership. They challenge us to question how today's leaders handle such situations. Do they deflect and deny? Or do they, like Abimelek, take responsibility and seek resolution? Are they more concerned about their image? Or like Abimelek, are they genuinely concerned about the well-being of their people? Abimelek's actions raise questions about how today's leaders handle crises with integrity and responsibility. Abraham's explanation reveals a lack of confidence in the fear of God prevailing in Gerar. This statement exposes the crux of his deceit. Abraham doubted whether the people of Gerar feared God or were guided by his principles. This fear led him to compromise his integrity and misrepresent his relationship with Sarah. This raises an important question for each of us to consider. In our day-to-day lives, how does the fear of God influence our decisions? Do we allow it to guide our actions and interactions with those around us? Or do we, like Abraham, let our fears and insecurities overrule our trust in God's sovereignty? The fear of God is not a dread or a terror, but rather a profound respect and awe for his power and authority. It's a recognition of his infinite wisdom, justice, and love. This fear should not paralyze us, but instead motivate us to live righteously, to act with integrity, and to treat others with kindness and respect. Abraham's encounter with Abimelek teaches us that when we let fear and lack of trust cloud our judgment, we not only harm ourselves, but also those around us. It is when we understand and embrace the fear of God that we can navigate through life's uncertainties with confidence and integrity. This prompts us to ponder on whether the fear of God influences our choices and interactions. Abraham's choice to deceive Abimelek brings consequences not only to himself, but to the entire household. This deception, born out of fear, not only jeopardizes Abraham's relationship with the king, but also places Abimelek's household in a precarious situation. The effects of Abraham's deceit ripple outwards, affecting those far beyond the initial lie. This is not a unique phenomenon. Deception, in any form, often has far-reaching consequences. It's like throwing a pebble into a pond. The ripples spread far wider than the stone's initial impact. Whether it's a white lie or a significant falsehood, the effects can be profound and lasting, impacting relationships, trust, and even our own self-perception. What's more, Abraham's deception serves as a stark reminder of the responsibility we bear for our actions. Every choice we make, every word we speak, has the potential to impact others. We are not isolated beings. Our actions, especially those that are deceptive, can have serious consequences for those around us. It's a sobering thought, but it also offers a powerful lesson. It reminds us of the importance of honesty, integrity, and taking responsibility for our actions. We are reminded that our actions can create ripples, and it's up to us to ensure those ripples are positive, not destructive. This is a stark reminder of the ripple effects of deceit and the responsibility we bear for our actions. Abimelek's response to the situation includes generous restitution to Abraham and Sarah. Here we encounter a pivotal moment in our narrative, one that brings to light the power of restitution and the vindication of the innocent. Abimelek, despite being innocently drawn into Abraham's deception, chooses to act with grace and generosity. He compensates Abraham with livestock and servants, and further, he provides him with the freedom to dwell in his land. This act of restitution serves as a powerful testament to Abimelek's integrity, a willingness to make amends, despite the deception not being his own doing. Simultaneously, we see a vindication of Sarah's honor. Abimelek, recognizing the wrong done to her, addresses her directly, affirming her innocence and restoring her dignity. This act of vindication underscores the importance of acknowledging and rectifying the wrongs committed against the innocent. But there's more to this. In the realm of restitution and vindication, we find a profound lesson: the necessity to rectify our wrongs, even when they're unintentionally committed, and the responsibility to uphold the dignity of those who have been wronged. Through Abimelek's actions, we're reminded that restitution isn't merely about repaying a debt. It's about restoring relationships, rebuilding trust, and reaffirming respect. And vindication isn't just about justice. It's about recognizing the value and dignity of every individual. This teaches us about the importance of restitution in the face of wrongs committed and the vindication of the innocent. Abraham's prayer for Abimelek results in divine healing. These words carry a profound truth that resonates throughout the ages. The power of prayer is not a myth or a mere tradition, but rather a potent force capable of bringing about miraculous changes. In the narrative of Abraham and Abimelek, we find a compelling demonstration of this power. Abraham, realizing the gravity of his deception and the consequences it brought upon Abimelek's household, turns to prayer. He doesn't just offer a casual, offhand plea to the heavens, but rather he engages in earnest, heartfelt intercession for Abimelek. This prayer, born out of a genuine desire for reconciliation and healing, becomes a catalyst for divine intervention. God responds to Abraham's prayer by healing Abimelek, his wife, and his female slaves, thereby lifting the curse that had plagued them. It's a profound testament to the transformative power of prayer and its ability to mend what's been broken and restore what's been lost. This narrative invites us to reflect on the role of prayer in our own lives. It challenges us to consider how we can use prayer not just as a personal spiritual practice, but also as a tool for promoting healing and reconciliation in our relationships and communities. This emphasizes the power of prayer in reconciling relationships and seeking healing for those affected by our actions. The narrative concludes with a recognition of God's sovereignty over fertility. This final lesson from the encounter between Abraham and Abimelek in Genesis 20 takes us into a deeper understanding of the divine prerogative. God's sovereignty is not just about his rule over nations and the grand scheme of the universe, but also his control over the intimate details of our lives, including fertility. This realization is not just about acknowledging God's authority, but also grappling with the implications of his sovereignty in our day-to-day lives. From the decisions we make to the actions we take, it all falls within the scope of his divine orchestration. Just as God intervened in the lives of Abraham and Abimelek, he continues to work in our lives in ways that might not always be visible or understandable. The sovereignty of God is not a concept to fear, but a reality to embrace. It's a recognition that God, in his infinite wisdom and love, is in control. It's about surrendering our illusion of control and acknowledging that even when things seem chaotic or beyond our understanding, God is at work. His plans and purposes are being fulfilled. God's sovereignty is not just about his control over outcomes, but also his involvement in our journeys. It's about trusting that he is shaping and guiding us, even when we can't see the end of the road. This invites us to contemplate God's control over various aspects of our lives and how we respond to his sovereign authority. And there you have it, the story of Abraham and Abimelek, a rich tapestry of lessons on trust, fear, integrity, consequences, and divine intervention. This narrative from Genesis 20 is a profound exploration into the intricacies of human interaction and divine guidance. It teaches us about the fine balance between trust and fear, and how our choices can lead to unexpected consequences. We've seen that divine warnings come in different forms, and their importance in guiding us away from potential pitfalls. We've reflected on the role of integrity in leadership, and the power of owning up to unintended consequences. We've also delved into the concept of the fear of God and how it influences our choices and interactions. We've examined the repercussions of deception, not just on an individual level, but how it can ripple out and impact others. We've learned about the significance of restitution and vindication, and the role they play in restoring balance and justice. We've also seen the power of prayer in healing and reconciliation, and finally we've contemplated on the sovereignty of God and how it pervades every aspect of our lives. If this exploration has enlightened your understanding of these biblical lessons, please like, share, and comment with your thoughts. Your engagement helps us to continue providing content that inspires and educates. Don't forget to subscribe for more biblical insights. Until next time, may your journey through the scriptures continue to unveil timeless truths.